Just sit there right now. Don't do a thing, just rest. For your separation from God is the hardest work in the world. Let me bring you trays of food and something that you'd like to drink. You can use my soft words as a cushion for your head. Hafiz. A person is a very small thing, and as a person in an existence of duality, the world has a heaviness to it. The sensations in the body feel uncomfortable and outright unbearable at times. As a person, we crave more and more, constantly striving to find relief from an inner restlessness. We want to manifest more things to add to our sense of self, to add to the person that we think we are. We want to absorb more and more spiritual knowledge to add to our spiritual identity. There comes a point on our spiritual journey for many of us where we want to let go of adding to the person and we just want to be free from that small sense of self, free from the mind-body complex, free from its conditioning, free from the programmed beliefs and automatic reactions to the world. Teachers of non-duality would say that in absolute terms, there is no person. The person is relative and the pure being fundamental. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Many of the greatest spiritual teachers, channelings, and ancient philosophies, they speak of the same spiritual concept in that we are ultimately on a great, profound journey back to oneness. The soul is on a journey back to its source. As the soul evolves on billions of levels, we reincarnate time and time again into an experience of separation. Once we fully awaken and realize the true self, we will no longer be bound to the cycle of birth and dying. My child, because you think you are the body, for a long time you have been bound. No, you are pure awareness. With this knowledge as your sword, cut through your chains and be happy. For you are already free, without action or flaw, luminous and bright. Ashtavakra Gita. To the vast majority of us, the simple knowing and conceptual understanding of the illusion of personhood just isn't quite enough to propel us into self-realization. And speaking in absolutes doesn't automatically remove the pain and darkness inherent within personhood. However, with our spiritual practice, we can actually take steps whereby the heaviness of being a person may actually begin to lose its heaviness. Importantly, we must realize that the internal environment is where the suffering takes place. It's the internal environment that doesn't feel good, and therefore, this is where we must draw our attention to. Upon investigation into our thoughts and actually what they are saying, then we'll observe that they are often in resistance to what is occurring in the outside world. And then those resistant thoughts give birth to unpleasant and what we would call negative feelings and sensations in the body. But any thoughts of resistance, it will cause us suffering, and it's totally illogical because whatever is occurring in our now moment cannot be changed. Yes, we can take steps in a series of other now moments to change our situation, but nevertheless, what is actually occurring in the moment right now cannot be changed. And so, yes, any resistant thoughts are going to cause suffering. However, if we cultivate a state of acceptance to whatever arises in the moment, then we take a breath and we're able to really find acceptance and flow and peace. As a person, we have become so tangled up in our thoughts, which in reality are simply words in the mind. They do not reflect our true identity.
But since we derive our sense of self from these thoughts, we buy into them. We believe what they are saying and we give our power to them. We become a slave to them. We live caught in a thought-feeling cycle. We have a thought that produces a feeling and the cycle goes round and round. This is the burden of personhood in a nutshell.
The true freedom is found when we stop giving power to the mind and the thoughts that it's conjuring up. The true freedom is found when we really see the thoughts arising within our mind, but we remain detached from what they are saying. In this way, we become the witness, and importantly, we actually disentangle our sense of self from the mind. And through our ability to witness it, we can really realize that we are so much more. When we are no longer so invested in the thoughts and what they are saying, then they actually lose their impact on us. And those sensations in the body, they lose their heaviness. So this practice has had such an enormous impact on my thinking patterns and my emotional reactions. It's almost as if, like, once you no longer entertain and buy into certain thoughts, then they also just disappear as well, because you're actually no longer fueling them with energy and attention, and they need this energy and attention to survive. So over time, through just kind of dropping these thoughts and not really letting them have such a hold on us, then they gradually just fade away anyway.
When we witness and detach from the mind in this way, personhood loses its heaviness because we are a step closer to our true essence beyond duality. We have bought into the idea of the separate self, of being a person, but who we really are does not experience unhappiness or depression because it is happiness. Happiness is your nature. It is not wrong to desire it. What is wrong is seeking it outside when it is inside. Ramana Maharshi.
Importantly, the essence of spirituality is stillness, and we can find this inner stillness through practicing presence. Through cultivating presence within, we actually find this inner spaciousness in the mind, and that space is beyond thought and therefore more representative again of our truer identity. So presence, what it does is it allows us to more easily wake up when we are in the midst of a troublesome thought stream, to wake up within that thought stream and actually see the thought, detach from it, and just let it go. So cultivating presence and actually witnessing thoughts as a spiritual practice is the perfect recipe for relieving the heaviness of personhood, simply because we're actually moving beyond it.
For most people, their spiritual teacher is their suffering, because eventually the suffering brings about their awakening. Eckhart Tolle.
Thank you so much for watching this video. My name's Jasmine. I hope that this video maybe brings you some kind of comfort and makes you feel a little bit lighter if you're going through a hard time right now. And yeah, so please like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.